Hi everyone. It is officially fall season, and fall or autumn is my favorite season, and so I wanted to kick it off by doing a magazine flip through. I've never done one of these, and even though there are already a lot of people out there that do magazine flip throughs and autumn style YouTube videos, I love this season and I love this kind of content, and I thought it would be kind of fun to try one myself. So we are going to start off with the Better Homes and Gardens Halloween magazine, which is to no one's surprise since Better Home and Gardens does an autumn or Halloween themed magazine every year. I know the last couple of years, some of my favorite videos are by ALB in Whisperland, and she's done prior years of this magazine, and I'll link those below. I know magazines can be a little bit expensive now, and pretty much everything that you find inside you can find online through blogs or Pinterest and etc. But it's still nice to have something physical to look at. It's a nice treat to have these and to flip through them. For me, it makes me feel like I'm thinking about the photos more mindfully, or at least I'm considering them more. Sometimes seeing them presented in a magazine in a nice, beautiful spread makes me look at them a little bit longer, and they just look more beautiful presented like that. As opposed to sometimes when we're online and there's just the endless scrolling. So I think it'll be fun to look at 163 thrilling ideas. Okay. This pumpkin here, since the magazine is still a little stiff. Okay. So starting off, we have our table of concoctions, and it looks like what the magazine will be highlighting in this edition is Make Our Haunted Mansion. This easy to make cover star comes with its own specter, a full moon, and a chill-inducing forest. So that must be what this is. I've tried actually in the past to do something like this before, using a fake pumpkin, but I wasn't following instructions. I was kind of just throwing some stuff inside and winging it, and that's not a bad thing, but I think I took too long on the base and I just got a little weird and I got over it. So I'm not sure what happened to that. Let's see. And then we have Vintage Spirit, haunt your home with playful decor that evokes the retro charm of yesteryear. Frightfully Fancy, 3 influencers take the party to the table, elevating the settings to wickedly cool heights. Followed by A Spooky Sweet Social, It's all out fun in a pastel palette when Stephanie Hannah throws a party for her daughters. And that's what this is right here. I'm excited to see how a pastel palette kind of translates on a larger scale. I know kind of a pink or pastel decor or theme for Halloween has been trending the last couple of years. I think any theme that someone commits to can be really cool, but me personally, I think I'll always just prefer the classic orange and black. But we'll see. All in favor say ayes. Dig into your stash of basic craft supplies to deck out pumpkins as monsters and mischief makers. They have that right here. Enchanted forest. Transform your front yard into a magical woodland with mushrooms sprouting and an oversized owl hovering. I love enchanted forests, so I'm excited for that. We have a few more. Family affair. Costumes that fit everyone's style. A magical makeover. Reborn decor using upcycled materials. That's good. Holiday season has a lot of waste, so any way that we can recycle and reuse is very helpful. Spellbinding spreads. Color us intrigued. Whole trays of black, white, green, and orange treats captivate guests. That must be what this is, and it looks very good. Looks very festive. Winsome trio. A little mantle hocus pocus shifts the room's focus. Go retro chic, moon-eyed, or nature-inspired. And Batty for Fright Night. Bats, birds, and creepy crawlies boost the charisma of Jenna LeBlanc's charming haunts. So starting off, here is the quote cover star. You would think kind of maybe for the cover craft piece that they would have more step-by-step instructions, maybe with a couple of illustrations. It's not a big deal, and it leaves more room for other things, but I think I just am always wary of paragraphs, because whenever I go online to look for a recipe, I have to scroll through the endless paragraphs to get to the actual recipe and instructions. So there's nothing wrong with reading a couple paragraphs, but sometimes it's just easier for craft making, especially if you're doing it with kids, to have separated instructions. Fall into the colors of autumn. This is nice. Even though it's more of a Halloween themed magazine, Halloween obviously still happens in autumn, and it's nice to kind of take a step back and see all the colors transforming. Pumpkin pie looks good. Okay, vintage spirit. Eerily charming, spooky, and fun, vintage-inspired Halloween decor summons the icons of Halloween's past. Yeah, I'm not sure that this look is for me. Those kind of old-timey, look, very old Disney, the Cheshire Cat and whatnot. But I always love a good garland. And these are cool, especially I imagine these glow in the dark, or you could easily just go get glow in the dark paint and put a little bit over, and that's kind of cool with the macrame beads. These look small and cute, easy to do with kids. Same with these. I don't, it's not exactly my style, the kind of, I don't know how to explain it, just kind of cartoonish look. But I do think their accordion arms and legs are really cool. And again, I feel like that's a really fun thing to do with a kid, especially because I just love crafting, so I think I'm obviously a little bit biased, but our kids are just all on. There's just so much on phones and tablets now, which isn't, it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of good material on there, a lot of good learning material and interactive activity on those, but I read like 10 years ago in this just really random article that, kind of starting with millennials or whatnot, because we spend so much time with digital formats, that today's kids have not as good fine motor skills. And I always take those kind of articles with a grain of salt because, there are just so many boomer articles about how millennials and Gen Z are somehow messing up the world. We don't make enough money, we don't spend enough money, we don't buy diamonds, we don't buy houses, we don't, apparently we have terrible fine motor skills. But that being said, like, I have to imagine there's some truth to that, because if you're not using your hands as much, you're just clicking, right? But you're not taking time to, I don't know, play with like little dolls and figurines, or using scissors, sewing, crafting, right? Again, I'm biased towards that because I did that a lot as a kid. I can see how kids would be worse at those smaller motor skills, which can translate later in life to, if you work with your hands, if you're a doctor, surgeon, dentist, or, any number of thousands of jobs that work with your hands. So it all comes back to this accordion. I think that's just makes me think of like having to fold it up all nice and tight, and I always thought that was fun to do as a kid. So as long as it interests the kid, they'll be willing to have fun with it. Let's see. Okay, this is more for me than the vintage page. This is beautiful. Frightfully fancy. So this is the 3 influencers, I think, and their different table spreads. Starting it off with Laura, and I think it's Chubane, but it might be Shubane. Her Instagram is The Spilled Sugar. She has this kind of cream, gold, orange, and black palette. I love the blackberries on here. That's a really cool way to use a skeleton hand with the pumpkin on top. Yeah, this spread is just, it really pops to me. I think I really like that she picked items that are, they're much more red orange than just true orange. Kind of that vermilion color. I think I might be saying it wrong, but maybe it's vermilion. But that kind of dark orange red. And then the black, these plants are almost blue black, and so are the blackberries. And so it kind of pops, that red orange with the blue black, and then with these hints of gold and the silverware and the glasses and plates. I love that. Black cat. If I ever manage to get a photo like that, like, you know, you are taking all these great photos, and I don't know how this works if she submitted them to be in the magazine, but all the work that goes into setting up this table, and then you're trying to get these really nice photos, and you manage to get your cat perfectly sitting and staring at you. I would be very proud of myself if I got that shot. Okay. Next we have Michael Worm Jr. His Instagram is inspired by charm. I love his kind of, it's just like very like happy smile, because it kind of goes a lot with all of like these smiles, this kind of like playful look that he has. It's very vintagey. Like it looks like he could have been the one that did that vintage spread a couple pages back. Which again, you know, it's not my style, but as long as you take whatever style is yours and commit to it, you're always going to pull off a really cool effect. I do like that he put these over the table. I don't think I've ever seen them like that, which seems weird. I feel like I should have, but I'm so used to seeing these. I'm so used to seeing them now, like, stacked on one another to create those kind of, you know, those archways or those decorative window coverings, or if I do see them hanging, I guess I'm just used to seeing them hanging along with those like swirlers when they cover the ceiling like that. Whereas here he's collected them together to almost create this like I want to say chandelier, because it's just like it's like a piece above the table, even though it doesn't have lighting. I mean, there's lighting right there, but I think that's really cool. I've never seen them kind of bunched together in one section like that. And of course you have this little creepy fuck right here. Yeah, he's like a moldy onion, little chomper. I don't know if this is a character that people know. Maybe he's beloved, but I don't love him. he's not for me, but that's okay. I love the black and white plaid napkins. I love flannel, and it's nice to see it as a napkin, and it ties in with all the other black and white. And then the last one is Stephanie Short Campbell. Her Instagram is Onassis and Claire. This is nice. This is much more autumn than it is Halloween, which, there's no requirement that everything in here is Halloween themed. It's just an observation. But with the kind of like wheat or hay and the woven placemats. I think this is mustard. It's not quite the mustard seed that I'm used to seeing in California, but I'm pretty sure this is a type of mustard plant. I have no idea. I'm just guessing. And then thistles. I love thistles and burrs. It's one of my favorite plants. I love when you go to the florist or a grocery store, usually more of like the eclectic grocery stores, not eclectic, but like Trader Joe's. I always love to get them, and I just think they go with like, you can just put them in any bouquet and it makes it so much more dynamic and wild looking. I actually have these right here. And I think this is a thistle. It's like that really blue kind. They might have like a different name, but they definitely are of that same type. But yeah, I actually think this centerpiece would be really nice on this table. I love what she did with these little pumpkins. But I also think if you just had everything else and then you kind of took this out and maybe just like left some of the pumpkins on the table and then or surrounding this vase with this big thistle bouquet in the middle, that would be beautiful. What's nice about this table is you could add a few more pumpkins if you wanted, and that would make it a little bit more Halloween-ish in the month of October. And then, come November, you can take out the crows if you want to, and maybe switch out these mugs for like a nice wine glass, and then it's like a perfect Thanksgiving table. And I always love that about autumn. Even though obviously, it's all one season, so it makes sense that the table can serve multiple purposes. I think it's fun that you have this dining room table that you can have a base set of decor on, and then with just a little bit extra, you can make it Halloween, and then the next month make it more Thanksgiving, or whatever you celebrate. Just autumn generally, autumn harvest. But it's fun to have a table that doesn't require too much work once you get the base layer down, but you still get to kind of change it up, and it doesn't have to stay the same all season. I say this as if as if I do a lot of like dining room table decorating, which I don't. I used to when I lived at my parents' house because they have a beautiful house and it was really fun to decorate. But I don't really decorate our dining room table anymore. We don't really use it. Okay. A spooky sweet social. So this is Stephanie Hanna goes all out for her daughters and their friends to enjoy a frightfully fun but not scary afternoon celebrating the season. So it's not like a birthday or a party. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of pages for this. It's more just, it's kind of just like a Halloween tea party, I guess. Which is, that's cute. I'm just so used to like Halloween for kids, nighttime costumes, trick-or-treating, or carving jack-o'-lanterns at the house or something. So it's interesting to see it in such a springtime format. But that's also a perfect way to try out, I think, this pastel palette. So here's her front door. Oh my god, I wonder if her doors are pink in real life. Which maybe she just loves that color. That would make a lot of sense since she did this whole party. So she may have painted the doors, or maybe they edited them after the fact. Who knows? But that's pretty funny. Just like the world's most intense commitment to a theme. Come Christmas, she paints it red or something. This is really cool. I've never done something like this, but I love the idea of creating something obviously like on the ground, right? So these are, obviously they must all be attached with some kind of like piping or rope. And then you just get a ladder and you hook it on, and she obviously hooked it on very nicely. They're all facing the right way and perfectly positioned for the photo, but even without having done that, it's nice that maybe this is DIY and it took a long time to create, but once you create it, just every single year you just like pop it up there, and it's fast and easy, and it's like, it's huge. It just creates like a huge outside decor where you don't really need to do a lot else if you don't want to. Except maybe like, obviously like a few more down here, pumpkins. Okay. Yeah. All the kids are cute. I'm going to harp on it because they're kids. I still think it would have been cute if they, kids, like just especially young ones, like they love any excuse to wear costumes. And they're a little bit older, but I watched this little girl and she's almost 4, and every time I watch her, she wants to put on a costume. One of her princess dresses. So I think like very easily you could see her being in like, the princess dress, or I'm sure there are plenty of costumes out there for kids, like ninjas and robots or Marvel characters or Pokemon that have a pink and black theme. Her dress is cute though, it has little ghosts on it. Okay, so here's the main table. I love this centerpiece. That's beautiful. You see these a lot, like, you know, especially at like Michael's and Joann's and whatnot, of like taking a fake pumpkin and you know, either it's a pumpkin with floral, or it's like a regular vase and then with floral and pumpkins and whatnot. Like it's very common. But I really like the floral done in this one, how dark it is. I love that aesthetic. And like, quite frankly, like, if it were me, like, if these are fake flowers, which they probably are, you almost want to like put them in a vase and do, you know, create the bouquet in a vase. And then if you want, you can put the vase inside of this, you know, inside of a pumpkin for a kid's party or Halloween party, or just for Halloween, October in general. And then come Thanksgiving or even Christmas, you just take the vase out and it's just this really classy, beautiful vase. Like, it doesn't have to be attached to this. But I like this pumpkin. I just like obsessed with these flowers. Also, I think it's really cool that it's like a pastel base with a dark on top, and it's a nice inverse of the room with the light and pastel on top, and then the darker on the bottom. I like that. Okay. Stay spooky. Spooktacular. These disco balls kind of confuse me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't mind them because aesthetically they look great. But I have like no idea what the fuck they're doing here. Because they're definitely not in season. It's a party, I guess. It's just this like mid-morning disco party. This is amazing. These cookies are incredible. Let's see. I love this one. This little cauldron with a potion. There's so much detail there. It's crazy. But I love that you can tell what it is from far away, but it's still detailed. I love moths. I love moths in art any time of year, but especially now. This is really cool. I kind of wish the background was maybe like darker so that the skull would pop more. And for a different palette, I think like green would be really cool because it's kind of like a poisonous potion. The bat has a bow tie. The ghost has glasses. That's cute. These cookies are intense though. Gosh. Okay. So kids are drinking some drinks. I was about to say kids are drinking some cocktails, but that's not what they're doing. Cutie over here has a cookie. Maybe he's making the cookie. Like, maybe they get to decorate, or maybe they just get to like appreciate these insane cookies that mom provided. Oh god, this is popcorn. I couldn't tell. I just thought it was like little house decorations. Holy crap. It's like she like made popcorn, put them in these things, and then just like set them out. And they're on a tray. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I know it's because like she's photographing, but like to give the child some of the popcorn, she first takes the popcorn and puts it on a tray, and then her daughter can take it. I know that's not the point. I know that's not what happens in real life, but it does look a little silly. Holy crap. She must just have like the most insane storage shed. This one's great because it's kind of narrow. And then you can also store things on it during the year. But like I have a lot of autumn decor and it takes up my entire attic. And we have a small like 1-bedroom place. So I can't even imagine like if I'm fortunate enough one day to like have a house, like it just takes so much decor to fill it the way that you want to fill it sometimes. But with great decor comes needed storage. And I have to believe if she goes all out like this for every season, my guess is she has a storage space for all of this off-site. Shop talk. Oh, okay, so okay, that makes more sense. This is a list of the people that she purchased from. So like the cookies are from Royally Iced Sweets. The bat garland, that jack-o'-lantern bouquet that I was fangirling over, that makes more sense. Like it's still very intense and impressive that she did all of this, like this whole party, and put it all together. But for a second there, I thought that she would like actually like did all the cookies and like made this as well. Like there's just not enough time or drugs in the world to get all of that done. So that's cool. I'll have to check out that jack-o'-lantern creator at Boho Garden Crowns. That makes sense. Okay. All in favor, say ayes. I'm not going to say aye because I'm not in favor. These are cute. This creeps me the fuck out. I appreciate this little dude, but this isn't probably something I would have in my home. I do think this is really cute though, how they use those little pumpkins that you can find and they use them as the feet. That's really cute. I've never seen that before, which I'm kind of surprised I haven't, but I would kind of hope that if you're going to do something like this, that you're using fake pumpkins. And I only say that because I just can't imagine going through all the time and effort of creating one of these only for it to like mold a couple of days later. Also, like, I just feel like pumpkins mold more easily nowadays, and I know that there's ways to preserve them, but like lately I feel like the last couple of years, I feel like if I cut into a pumpkin, I swear within 3 days it's already starting to mold, which is crazy. So maybe as long as you like don't like puncture it and you just rest it on top, then this would last. But still, at the end of the season, you have to throw it out and I don't know, I hate putting time into creating something just for it to be gone so soon. Oh, that's cute. And he has little bat wings as kind of like ears. Kind of makes him look like a little puppy dog. That's cute. Okay. Eek. I have to say that words, I'm not like a big phrase person in general. Like, I've never been a huge fan of, just for like me personally, like wearing shirts with phrases on them or having decor around your house. That being said, when I go by other houses that have a cute, like boo or whatever written out, like, I think it looks good from afar. It's just not for me. Here we have a cauldron. I love the cauldron look. I'm not sure it translates here, where like it's kind of hard to see the steam swirls. And then they used like beads. It's just, I don't think this one works too well. This one's kind of cute. Her mouth full of beads, but this one, I like the idea of a cauldron on a pumpkin, but I think at the very least you need to like add the steam swirls more obviously, because from afar it just looks like, kind of like a misshapen circle. Oh, yuck. These are creepy. I think this would be really cool if you were having a trendy, legitimately creepy Halloween party. But I would never have this in my home. It's actually like very intense. I get the cutting, right? So you don't cut like that, you cut like that. That's pretty simple, but then they like painted them, and they actually did like a very detailed job on these eyes. Like they didn't just, paint them blue and put a black pupil in there. Like they actually like have like shading and all the different colors that goes into eyes. It's just like very intense just to sit there painting this like creepy eye. Makes me think of Edgar Allan Poe. His like weird obsession with eyes and ravens and killing people. If you were having a trendy Edgar Allan Poe party, you should have a few of these around. Yeah, it's very weird. Okay. Here we have a pumpkin with some fake snakes in it. Again, I would kind of hope that you just use a fake pumpkin. And I'm not a proponent of using a lot of plastic. Like, whenever I suggest using a fake pumpkin, I 100% mean buy a fake pumpkin and keep reusing it forever and ever and ever, and then your kids inherit it and they use it forever and ever and ever. Like, and when you're done with it, I would hope that you would give it away or sell it, rather than throw it away. So I'm definitely not trying to like increase waste. I just, again, can't imagine like buying a real pumpkin and doing these creations, and then they just kind of mold. I mean, these ones are kind of simple, but still. I actually think this would actually look cooler if you maybe painted the pumpkin black and then painted the snake like a bright green, kind of that bright, ghoulish Halloween green. You could go real crazy and do like a green glow-in-the-dark paint. I think that would look really cool at night, where the snakes would really pop. Or vice versa, like a more of a green pumpkin with black snakes. I think like increasing the contrast on this would make it really cool. This guy's cute. I love his face because I feel like that's how all pumpkins should technically look, since, you know, we chop all their heads off and like scrape their insides. He's just like, he looks like, yeah, this is a drag. He's cute. Franco-lantern. I feel like if this is like Frankenstein's monster, you should add like a few more stitches. Even if you just like paint them on. I always remember growing up, all the toys and illustrations of Frankenstein's monster always had a bunch of stitches on his face. Down here we have kind of like the snake but with rats, and this isn't for me. My partner and I have had a recurring mouse problem in our garage. So when I see this, I just see vermin, and I see a hassle, and I see something that I have to clean up after and deal with. So I don't need to pretend like they're also in my home. Enchanted forest. Yay. I love an enchanted forest aesthetic a lot, so I'm excited to see what this entails. Let's see. Witches park their brooms and the porch becomes a mystical woodland. Mushrooms sprout among the shrubs, and an oversized owl watches the festivities. So there's the owl, the mushrooms. I love the look of the mushrooms. Oh, that's really cool. It's like just a branch, and then it looks like they cut a pumpkin in half, and this is the bottom of the pumpkin. That's really cool. Again, I know I'm a broken record, but I wonder if these are real, because I don't think they would last very long, but they look really cool. But yeah, I love the look of mushrooms in decor and in like art and illustrations. But I don't like them in my food. I used to, but I've just gotten more sensitive to the taste as I've gotten older, and like kind of like the chewy or slimy texture really creeps me out. So I don't eat mushrooms, but I appreciate how they look. There's some brooms. Yeah, I think when I think of Enchanted Forest, I I just think of like a little bit more, you know, like I think of like more trees maybe. And this just feels like a tiny bit sparse. They have a lot here. Like, it's not for lack of trying. They have a lot of product. But I think maybe this would translate better on a house that like just naturally had some more trees in front, at least for like, you know, a spread in a magazine. So yes, you know, it's gonna sound super douchey, but that can be a problem. Like when you have such a large entryway, it just takes so much product to kind of give the effect, kind of like fill it up and give the effect you're trying to give. I'm also curious, like, I think this moss is really cool, and it kind of plays on having like Halloween cobwebs. But like, where are they getting moss in like these mass quantities? Because I've done moss projects and moss is expensive. So I'd love to know where they got just this so much moss that they can just like sling it on their roof. Okay. So here's a close-up. I like that they have the gourds and pumpkins down here because, you know, I think, like, let's be honest, without the brooms and the pumpkins, you definitely do a double take on, like, is this autumn or not? Just because, you know, like, the moss and everything, it's very green, right? So it's not exactly autumn colors, which is totally fine. But I do appreciate that they added a lot of pumpkins because I think that helps tie it kind of back to the season a little bit. This is really cool. You see a lot of moss projects now where it's a lot of those like mounds of moss that are put together to in like a small display or a large display or what have you. But I don't think I've ever really seen it. Oh, it's like a wreath. So there's a wreath base, and then it's not like deconstructed, but it's obviously got these like huge branches attached that creates this whole new shape, and then there's like little mushrooms in there. I love this. Maybe that'll be my fall project. I'll do something like that. And then we have the owl up here, which looks really cool. I have this little guy. Some little twigs for the kind of the ear type fro things that they have. And then some large cloth feathers. He's cool. This is really cool, especially with, I love the green apples because it really ties into the witch theme. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like a total bitch to make. I wonder how they got the brooms to stick up like that, like how they mounted them to keep them secure. So you drill 4 holes into some plywood board, fill it with glue, and then you just kind of stick You stick the broom handles into them and keep them temporarily positioned with some tape. So you need to drill a pretty big hole to actually get the broom to go in there. Yeah, so I mean, if you have the right tools, I guess it's not too bad, but and then, you know, depending on how big of a base you have, if you have like a really thick base and the brooms are, you know, very secure, then your basket could hold more weight. But I mean, if your brooms are only like glued in like half an inch or an inch, you can't fill this with like apples. It's probably an extremely heavy basket. So yeah, I appreciate this for the witches theme, but this isn't something that I think I would do. What I would do is maybe use branches like this and kind of create maybe like a smaller one, like a little bit of plywood, and then you kind of mount the branches like you do these brooms, and then in the center you put something kind of nice and light, and that'd be kind of a cool centerpiece idea. Or put like a light basket in the center of those branches, and then have, you know, like fruit or something in the middle of your table would be pretty. And then over here we have a little bit more on the witches theme. Witches shoes are so ugly. I'm sorry. I love heels. I wear them all the time. I like booties, and I've certainly tried to wear witches heels. People who can pull them off with that whole look are so cool, but for me, I'm very short, and so when a shoe kind of cuts me off right at the ankle, it just makes me look even shorter, and it's not like an appealing look for me personally. I like this little tray that they have. It's nice that you can put decor in a tray if you're inside and you want your inside to look more festive. You just have this like loaded with like a couple of gourds and maybe like a Halloween candle, and then you just put it on like your coffee table, or if you're outside, then bring it outside. It's just nice. And then like if you need it kind of out of your way, it's easier just to clean up. That's really cool. This makes me think of childhood, because this is what all of like our craft books would look like. Is they would always have these types of illustrations, just really simple, but it just really gets to the point and helps you understand what you're supposed to do. And then the milk jug. That's so funny. How many crafts I did as a kid with a jug of milk, like a gallon of milk. I think of a classic one for Halloween is like the milk jug skeleton. You know, you'd cut the ribs or the eyes for the skull. The only thing now is that I don't drink dairy milk. Like, I don't have this. And even if I still drink dairy milk, I would I don't think I'd buy it in such a large quantity, because my partner and I just don't go through it that much. I was drinking almond for a while. Now I'm trying out, I think it's goat milk, or no, oat milk. Oat milk. Goat milk would still be dairy. You could just take like an old shoebox and kind of like push in the edges to kind of round it out a little bit, you know? And lots of people have shoe boxes laying around, so you could try something like that. Okay. So this must be all of those costumes. Family costumes. Okay. For this night of dress up, thrift stores and paint are your friends. Be whatever you dream to be. Astronaut, shark, flower, clown. Okay. This is really cool. Shooting star. I feel like this would be so much fun to wear at a party. I would probably have a shorter skirt because, you know, not only like if you're at a party, having like a floor length gown is kind of rough, but also if like you're like trick-or-treating with your kids or something, there's just like, I'm not a mom yet, but even I know that that looks like just a chaos. But up here, like, imagine just like walking around a party or in the nighttime with all of this like gleaming off of you. That'd be so cool. This kid is cute. Astronaut. Spray paint old shoes or boots silver. That's kind of cool. It's a good idea. And then you also, I guess, spray paint liter bottles. And then again with the foil kind of fringe. That's a lot of fun. Imagine you have to buy the helmet though. Also, I'm not sure where you find like dress child in jumpsuit. Yeah, so you have to buy a jumpsuit. Like you still have to pay for like a metallic jumpsuit and a helmet. Which like the only thing you're really adding at that point is the jetpack and some like cooler looking shoes. I'm not shitting on it, like it's still really fun. It just like you're still buying a jumpsuit, right? And like so it's still nowadays probably like $40. But adding the jetpack is really cool. And then this little guy up here. He's a child star. I love the pun, but I hate the costume. He's obviously adorable, and he gets to be a cute little star. There's nothing wrong with that. I just, like, feel so bad that mom gets this, like, incredibly ornate, awesome costume. And, like, the kid has, like, some cardboard stuck to him. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's what he wanted to be. Kids are crazy. I had a professor a few years ago. So funny. She had a couple of young kids, and I guess her son, like, he said that for Halloween he wanted to be a rock. So then she had to make him, or was it her daughter? I can't remember which one it was. But one of her kids just like wanted to be a rock. So she like made this rock costume, and then I think like for a party with one of their friends, the kid got embarrassed and was like, wait, maybe I shouldn't be a rock. So who knows, maybe this kid is like super jazzed about just like having a star stuck to him, but I feel like usually kids want to have a little bit more going on, you know? Anyway. This child is so cute. Look at those cheeks. She's clearly like, you know, she's probably about a year, maybe a year and a half, because she's standing. but she's still probably too young to like really get what's happening. So like this poor kid just like has this thing stuck to her head and she's like, what's going on? So cute though. I love her the leaves on mom's shoes and baby's shoes, and then her pudgy little knees, and then just like a couple of leaves stuck to her little belly. It's so cute because mom has like this like beautiful, like all these leaves beautifully placed, and like, I mean, that's just not realistic for a kid because it's scratchy and they'll pull them off, and you know, there's no judgment that the kid has less, but it's super cute that they're just like kind of like stuck around her belly. Mom looks super pretty. I guess she's Mother Nature. I feel like she's beautiful, and like Mother Nature makes sense, especially with your little flower right here. But I also can't help myself and think, like, if I saw this person walking down the street, I'd be like, oh, she dressed up like a bush. Like, she's just like a really cool shrub for Halloween. So yeah, that being said, usually when people dress up as Mother Nature, they're like borderline naked, so I think I prefer this. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Undersea magic makers. This is fun. We have a shark. Mom's a mermaid. And then a diver. Starting with mom, I want to say that I love mermaid costumes because they're just like, you just get to be beautiful from head to toe. Like, I love seeing like mermaid crowns, and they're all so unique and different. I love the idea of wearing like body glitter to kind of look like iridescent, like the ocean. That being said, like, I don't know in what universe a mermaid skirt is practical. Only because, like, imagine you go like trick-or-treating and you have a small kid who kind of like runs away, you know, kind of darts somewhere in the dark, and then you're in this like tight fucking skirt and you have to like rip it apart to go catch your kid. So hopefully, I mean, it looks like it's stretchy, but I think I'd have to like partway through the night like hike it up to here so that I could actually function. Oh, look at that little smile. That's adorable. Okay, I'm gonna say two things about these costumes. First of all, they look really cute. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love the color palette, and this mask is crazy. But when it comes to this kid, kind of once again, like, mom gets a really cool costume, and then this kid is kind of just like thrown in a pajama set with a mask on top. And this mask is really cool, but I kind of wish he just had like some fins at least. You know, just something that kind of is more than just, I bought a mask and like here's like some clothes that kind of match. But yeah, find some fins and maybe like a bigger shirt that kind of looks more like a shark body, and then this kid's rocking it. And then we have this little guy, and like, I think it's, no, it doesn't matter, it's a guy or girl, it's a kid. This diver costume is so cool. The only thing I'll say is I feel like at first glance it looks like an astronaut, and that's fine too. But I feel like kids are so much, like, astronauts are just such an iconic look. So it's like you have this like perfect astronaut costume, but then you have like a starfish on your head. It's not a problem. I think I'd be like, I'd walking down the street, I'd have to like do a double take and be like, oh, it's a cool astronaut, and then be like, oh wait, why is it blue? Oh, why is there a starfish on its head? And then you figure it out. So maybe I just sound like an idiot, but anyway. Okay. This is super cute. This isn't what I would wear because I don't like clowns or the circus. But this family just looks so stinking cute. Look at that little face. I love the, kids are already like such funny little characters because they're just tiny humans. And then you put him in this, bunched up pants and they just look even cuter. Mom's outfit is perfect for like a party. Maybe not trick-or-treating, but if you are going to a party and want to look a little classier. I also love this, but I have to believe it's pretty itchy around your neck. Ooh, a magical makeover. If I am lucky enough one day to have not only a backyard, but a large backyard, I want it to look like, I just love wooden fencing and string lights, all the trees. Live in that backyard. I like that, they have these string lights, and then they have a cluster of orange lights. And they have them here too. When I decorate, I usually put string lights just all along, kind of everywhere. Like when, even for Halloween, I'll do the Halloween colored ones. And I decorate kind of like I'm decorating for Christmas, where it's a lot of lights. I like this though, because it's like you still get that orange thematic glow, but it's a little bit classier. Like, it doesn't have to be everywhere. And obviously just a billion pumpkins. The classic hands are casting shadows. The classic like flower, orange and mustard flower mounds that you see this time of year. You see this a lot on front porches. I will say I don't totally understand why these are right here. Kind of makes me think of like a bird's nest on the ground, but there's no bird. It's weird because it's like not even a bush, it's almost as if they put a bunch of lights just on top of a pile of leaves. It looks pretty, but I am a little confusing. Oh, it's a beautiful dog. King of the backyard. So here's their main table that they sit at. You can see the orange lights in the back. I don't think I've ever seen witches' hats used like this before. I think it photographs really cool, but I don't think I would do this myself. Just being frank, I think once you're sitting down, you can't really tell it's a witch's hat, so it just kind of looks like a weird misshapen black triangle in front of you. I imagine at like a dinner party, someone would just have a little too much wine or beer and throw it on their head, and then everyone else just puts it on the ground out of the way. Looks cool though from afar. This is beautiful. I love these. See, this is kind of what I thought the Enchanted Forest spread would have more of, you know. And that's not like their fault, you know. It's not as if during Halloween season you just go out and buy a giant redwood tree. But still, I just think it would have translated the theme a little better with just some more foliage. But we have it here. It's cute, beautiful. Some more of those mounded flowers. It's a very big backyard. And this table with the hats from the other angle. They have a fake fireplace. Couple things. One, I wish that they had maybe one more cluster of those orange lights over here to kind of tie in the theme and more natural look of the rest of the yard. This one just suddenly looks very like dark. And then the other thing I'll say is, and this is just a very, very personal opinion, but I do a lot of like wood crafting, and I just love the look of natural or restored wood. And there's so many different ways so many different stains out there that you can use to restore or enhance wood, and it's just this beautiful natural element. And so when people paint wood, I just hate it. I get it. I get it for a lot of reasons. I get it why people do it aesthetically or to preserve the wood, to follow a trend, etc. I just personally think that in every situation where wood has been painted like white or black, it probably would have looked better had it just stayed in its natural state. But that is just truly a personal aesthetic. Okay. Here's the inside of their home. Spooktacular music. I guess your kid can't really practice piano during the holiday season. It's cool though. Then we have these witches' hats again. I don't think I've ever seen hats hung like that. It makes me think of Harry Potter a little bit. It looks cool. I like it better hanging than I did on the table. I think it translates a little bit better. I always love these bat decorations that people do. I have them all over my house. I add more every year and I try to keep it contained, but I started putting them up and I was all excited, and then my partner was like, I love those bats. And to me that was him saying that we should just absolutely cover our apartment. So that's what I'm doing this year. No, I just love that I love the ones that you can buy where they fold up a little. And so they have like a very nice 3D dynamic effect on the walls. they catch the light and cast shadows, and they flutter a little when we have a fan on or an open window. And they have their dining room table. I like these bottles a lot. I'm not gonna lie though, the bottles kind of make me, they kind of, like the bourbon rum type look, and then this guy, it makes me think a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean. And then especially with this kind of like wooden bead chandelier, could be very coastal. It's funny because separately these can all be very autumn or Halloween, but together it's just, I feel like I'm on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Disneyland. Reborn decor. Boost your fear factor by resurrecting old things. These scary good upgrades rely on upcycled finds. Oh, good work, the upcycled. Coffee filters and wooden beads. See, I need to look up the exact, I think the definition of upcycling is like taking something and, changing it to something else that increases the value. But for me, upcycling, and maybe I'm just thinking of like recycling mixed with upcycling, but for me it's taking something that's already been used and then remaking it into something else. So are they using like used coffee filters? Like, do you make your coffee and then like you save it and then it has that nice deep stain and then you stain it again? Because if you just go to the store and buy coffee filters, that's not upcycling, that's just using product that's been created just for a different purpose, Yeah. It just talks about dyeing the filters, so I don't know if they use them first, but that would be kind of cool actually. You use like a used filter, so it'd be like kind of brown, kind of look like antique-y, And wooden beads, I mean, like if you're going to the store and buying beads, I just don't think that's upcycling, but like, I think you're just crafting, right? Like you go and you buy items and put them together, I think you're just crafting. All of that aside, I really like this. It's simple and pretty. I wonder if it's difficult to like get the filters to stay as a circle, because when I hold up a coffee filter, it flutters down, right? Like holding up anything, like a piece of cloth, like it doesn't like stick out. So I wonder if you it says once the dyed filters are dry, well, that's for this, but like rate your paper bag stash, contract folding and cutting spills, attach them to the string of beads. I don't know, it doesn't really talk about like keeping them that way, so I wonder how they, although this is paper bag, so I guess this is like a grocery bag, so it's already kind of stiff, so that would make more sense. Either way, I really like this, and I do like this. This is fine. I think this is like a little spindly, like I'd rather just have this little, I think the bats look really cool, I just wouldn't have this as like a centerpiece or anything. Beautiful gourds. Again, coffee filters. Holy God, that's a lot of coffee filters. Let this idea percolate. Bring this colorful patch of pumpkins to life with coffee filters in vibrant orange and green dye. Fold, glue, and cut a stack of filters and then fan out the layers. Yeah, that's not upcycling, that's just buying bunch of filters. I mean, like, you could use probably old filters, but like, who, you know, like adults would have to drink coffee every day for 2 months and just like save them to the side to get enough to do even one of these. I think the idea is really cool. I don't like when people greenwash things. When the truth is, if you're just buying product to create this, that's not recycling, it's not upcycling. So, I apologize if I'm misunderstanding what upcycling is. Please don't berate me. I just was hoping to have some fun ideas for using things around my house that I wasn't sure how to reuse. That all being said, these are very cute. Go with the glow. Look at that pile of cardboard for recycling. Okay, so you cut up a bunch of cardboard to make these. Oh, they're like the paper towel and toilet paper rolls. You can see the slits. That's cool. And then what, you go out and you like buy the little fake candle thing and glue it in there. It's a cool idea. I don't know if I bought one of these, if I'd really want to glue it to cardboard. Also, then how do you change the battery? So it must not be glued, it must just be sitting in there. I wonder what it's sitting on. What did they use to make this? Just a cardboard box. Okay. It's not the craziest upcycling in the world, but still cool, and any effort is worthwhile. Spooky serpent. Braided cotton piping mimics the look of a coiled snake. A wooden spoon cleverly transforms into a snake's head. That's a really good idea, but if I have a nice wooden spoon in my kitchen, I'm not gonna like paint it with acrylic paint and turn it into a snake. But I do think it's a very creative way to use a spoon. Ooh, spellbinding spreads. Shadowland. That's really cool. I love these large swaths of cookies. What a fun juxtaposition. Wow, it's far back. Look at that. And then, that's really, really cool. And they're both just like so creative in their own way. It's so fun to see that aerial view. I don't think I've ever had a cookie with a blackberry in it, and I think that is such a cool idea because I had like a relative acquaintance type person, you know, like Modern Family connection. She was this amazing cook, and she used to do a really good lemon cake with blackberries on top. And I think blackberries just like, it's kind of like having a cherry tomato when you're cooking, and you have just all of your kind of warm flavors or whatever, and then you have that roasted cherry tomato, and you bite into it and you just have that burst, and it works so well with cooking. I feel like that's how blackberries are for me with baking. Like, I don't bake that often, but every now and then you have that like warm sugar, whatever it is, and then just a burst of a blackberry. I'm gonna make these. I'm gonna make these too. Those look really cool. Shadowland makes me, these kind of make me think of Umbreons. It's not the same thing, obviously, but, you know. It's not like every black cat makes me think of an Umbreon, but just something about the aesthetic overall. Spellbinding spreads. Drink it in. Stout and stormy night. That looks really cool. I was so much more adventurous with trying drinks 10 years ago. And now it's like, that looks really cool, but like, I know who I am. I'm not that cool. Here we go. Whitewashed. Kind of feels like a weird adjective. Like, it's kind of like when you hear a word that you don't mean it to sound kind of like sexual or pervy, but it is, right? Like earlier when I was talking about like painted wood, I kept like trying to avoid sounding like pervy. I feel the same way with like certain words. Just, I know that's not the point, but like whenever I hear whitewash now, I just like think about like wood casting. So it's funny to see it in like a baking context, but that all being said, these look very good. I'm not like a huge Madeline person. I try them every now and then. I want to like them. I think they're always drier than I expect them to be. Like I keep thinking I'm gonna bite into like moist whatever, and they're not. At least not the ones I've had. So Boolicious Coconut Nog. This does look very ghostly, which is very cool. But between the coconut, which makes me think of summer, and the nog, which makes me think of winter, I think overall I'm just a little confused. But it sounds very good. I would try it. That's really cool. Colors of the Harvest. That looks delicious. Jacko Citrus Granita. And over here we have that spread again with the peppers. And again, I think that's like really smart because it does kind of look like pumpkin. And so I think that'd be a great party spread, but I selfishly would not make it because I don't like peppers. Oh wow, ghastly grains, yeah. Emphasis on the ghastly. Another thing that I think looks amazing but is not for me. I don't mind cucumber, like thinly sliced on sandwiches, salads, and like fish bowls. But in a drink, I don't love it because the taste is just like permeates like crazy. So it's like you order a cucumber drink and it's like you better like cucumber, you know, because it's not going to be a hint of cucumber. That being said, this looks really, really cool. And like all those like spices or whatever the hell down there, I bet that's delicious. Recipes. Okay. And I think my extremely long-winded first magazine flip through is almost over. The Winsome Trio. 1 mantle, 3 themes. So retro over I'm so dumb. I'm like, what do you mean there's not 3 themes here? It's just like they're gonna use the same mantle and do 3 themes. First one is like retro / orange and black. Yeah, it's cute. A little sparse. I don't know if it's sparse, but just very stark with all that white. Then we have Over the Moon. I like this idea a lot with the moon and the birds and the lavender, and I just like, maybe if it just wasn't these like I'm never like a huge fan of twigs. They just don't do it for me. Like I'd wish this was like something fuller. And I know that's hard to make it autumn Halloween, because like what leaves could you put there unless the leaves are also like purple, but I don't know, maybe like some candles, like not the little ones, but like the thicker ones would be nice, or a picture. I always find like leaning art or a mirror. A lot of people lean mirrors in art. Like it could be just a big, like kind of a moody landscape. Would maybe set the tone on there. I think that owl is super, super cute. And it looks like a very manageable DIY. So I love him. And I do really like these. I think I would paint them like that instead of yarn, because like again, I guess you're just like stabbing the pumpkin and threading the yarn through. I don't know. It sounds like a little bit of a bitch, but I love the overall look with like, they're like little plaid pumpkins. The thing is though, like you have to do them all, right? Like you have to do at least like 4 of these to give it that kind of plaid pattern look. Otherwise, like if it's just like by himself, you're just, you know, I don't know, he's just like a lost little clown pumpkin or something. Ooh, mushroom. Yay. I love it with the little gold ones. And then you kind of wish they had like a couple right here. The leaves are cool. You know, I mean, that's just kind of how it is with like decor and inspiration. You're gonna see a lot of things that like photograph well, but it's like, you know, I have dogs. Like, a lot of people have kids. And these are just like run right through that. I have to vacuum, you know? Like, I can't like all these fucking leaves on my floor. But it looks cool. Having the bats outside, I wish they were bigger, and also I don't know what adhesive you were using to get these to stick to stucco outside, but either all of these are falling down within 30 seconds or you used like something that is going to leave a mark, or you know something I don't and I'm being super judgy. She's cute. Baddie for Fright Night. How funny, they like cover the outside and then they don't have any in here. Like you couldn't have done like a little wisp right there. Whatever. Okay, here's our table. I like this. I don't think we've seen like flying ravens yet, which is cool. Oh my god, another cat. He looks like my sister's late cat. Do you think like all these people have black cats, or do you think like they just go and find a black cat for photograph season? They don't like all have black cats, right? Like maybe they all have cats, but do they all have black cats? You know? Where are my tabbies at? I like these colored bottles, that kind of burgundy. And I like that it kind of matches this burgundy look. This is beautiful. And you could really easily like turn this into Thanksgiving. Don't love the twigs, but I get it and it looks cool. Up close, you know, through some like birchwood and beads on the table. It's cool. There's like a farther back look at the bats. It's really cool. I mean, they really like tried to do something different. I just think for the outside of a house, it needs to be like bigger, because you probably can't really tell like what they are until you get closer. this is pretty. It's nice when people like, you know, it's not just like a similar theme, but they include like similar elements, multiple areas of the house. Okay, wow, I did it. My first magazine flip through, and it was extremely long and full of interruptions, but I really loved this magazine. I actually loved it even more than I thought I would. And I hope that there are some people out there that enjoyed flipping through it with me. So, thanks everyone.